Hi colleagues. Now today we are fortunate. We have my teacher, Mr. Garikayi Tirikoti. His praise name, his chieftainship name is Chiwota, so I'll refer to him as Chiwota. And what we want to do is go back to the concept of Kutsinhira and demonstrate the many different ways of Kutsinhira using Nhemamusasa. So many people take Kutsinhira as something that is monolithic, that is fixed. You learn a kusheera part, you learn a Kutsinhira part, but as I explained in my first Kutsinhira lesson, Kutsinhira is just a way of complementing each other when playing together, when there are two or more players, Mbira players. So if I play a part, then he responds with a complementing part. If I change, he also changes to respond appropriately. If I ask a question through playing, he answers. If I do something, he responds. So Kutsinhira is a fluid concept that we want to learn from him. Now I'm going to play the basic parts. I'm going to start by playing the basic kusheera part, and then I'll ask him to explain how we will complement, how we will do the Kutsinhira part, and then we do a short demo, and then we move to a next step, a different style of Kutsinhira, so that by the end of the lesson we'll have demonstrated some half a dozen or dozen ways of Kutsinhira Nhemamusasa. So the first part I'm going to play just the kusheera, and then Chiwota explain how you are going to do the Kutsinhira part.
Yes, Kutsinhira is just begins from one after another, one behind the other, beat every beat. First beat from left is the leader, first beat from right is the follower. So kusheera and Kutsinhira is just like leading and following or backing. So I am going to follow with every key which he is going to touch, but on a way of Kutsinhira.
Okay, I'll start. Thank you. So he was playing exactly what I was playing, but one beat, one step behind. So that's one way of Kutsinhira. We're playing what people call the kusheera part, but we're complementing each other just by him playing one step behind me. I will continue or explain a second way of Kutsinhira before I start playing.
Yes, there is another way, the second way of Kutsinhira. If one begins to play kusheera and if the follower is coming, you must follow the beat. Every beat from the right is for Kutsinhira. So you can use variations, you can mix variations, or to follow the second or third part of Kutsinhira at the same way, from bottom to top and from top to bottom.
Yeah. So I'll play the kusheera, the normal kusheera. I'll play from the top key that is on the left side. I'll play from the top key to the bottom, L3 to B3, L4 to B5, and the way you will complement me is you will reverse it. Play from the bottom up. So let me start. I do one round and then you join in. continue. I'm playing just the basic kusheera part, but you will explain how you would do the Kutsinhira using Celery style.
Now I'm going to use the Celery style, which means it begins from both ends, single beats, both fingers, and single beats. So that is Celery. Just listen to the sound.
Okay, I'll start. Now, maybe we can do the parts that most people are used to. I'll play the kusheera part, and then you do the most standard way that most people play as Kutsinhira. Now, if I play the kusheera part, playing the upper notes, just the top notes on the left. Now, please play a Kutsinhira part that complements those upper notes. if I change what I'm playing, because I've basically played the most basic kusheera, I want to move and play Nhemamusasa Yepasi, which is a additional notes from the Nhemamusasa kusheera, and then please demonstrate to us how you would complement it with Kutsinhira say. So Nhemamusasa Yepasi is a few more notes. Is 9 notes per phrase on the left side, and I can push it a little more to play 12 notes on the left side. But what we are demonstrating is that if I increase the level of complexity that I'm playing, he doesn't have to come to the simpler parts. He can play a Kutsinhira at that level. So I'm going to play 12 notes on the left, which is the maximum that I can play. And ask him to complement at that level. But if he plays at that level, that the concept becomes kukavanisa or kupingudzana. It is just making sure that they are the polyrhythms that intersect. That's the complementarity between the two Mbiras. So I'll play slowly so that I can fit in the notes. So I think in conclusion, what we're trying to demonstrate is that Kutsinhira is just a way of complementing what the kusheera player is playing, and there are many different ways of doing it, rather than just saying that if there is a kusheera, this is Kutsinhira. He's demonstrated it. I was playing basically the kusheera part. He could follow me. He could use the notes playing from bottom up rather than when I'm playing from top to bottom. He could play a different part. And Nhemamusasa Celery, he could play what we call the standard Kutsinhira part. If I played the upper notes, he's got a Kutsinhira part that complements those upper notes. If I moved a level up to play Nhemamusasa Yepasi, he could complement me. And then if I played the most complex part with 12 notes that I can play, he also has a part, a way of complementing. So Kutsinhira is something that is fluid. It depends on the level of skill for the Mbira players that are doing it. And I'm very fortunate and honored to have been taught by Chigwedere. All this, what we're doing, is my teacher. He's the one who taught me. So, thank you.